who could fight, if it hadn't been for the damn illness. "It's not too late. You can save what's left of your crew. Surrender now, Captain Glanville, and we'll see that your men are ransomed back." A wicked gleam brightened her eyes as if victory would soon be hers. He should do as she asked. It would be the sensible thing, but pride kept him from saying the words. Not yet. He still had another opponent to defeat, and so far she hadn't been an easy one to overcome. Despite his steady attack, she kept her muscles relaxed, her balance sure. Her attention followed his movements no matter how small, adjusting her stance, looking for weaknesses. "How do you know I'm Captain Glanville?" When work was at hand, he didn't dress any differently than his men. "I know much about you." Stepping clear of two men battling to their left, she blocked his sword with her own and lunged with her dagger. He jumped from the blade, avoiding injury by the barest inch. This one relied on speed and accuracy rather than power. Smart woman. "What do you want from us?" he asked, launching an attack of his own. This time with so much force and speed she had no choice but to retreat until her back came up against the railing. "We only just left London 4 days ago. Our cargo is mainly iron and ale." Her gaze sharpened, even as her expression became strained. His assault was wearing her down. "I want the Ruby Cross." How the hell did she know he had the cross? And did she believe he'd simply hand it over? Hand over a priceless antiquity of the Knights Templar? Absurd. He swung his sword all the harder. The clang of steel rang through the air. Her reaction slowed, and her arms trembled. He made a final cut, putting all his strength behind the blow, and knocked her sword from her hand. Triumph surged through his veins. She attempted to slash out with her dagger. He grabbed her arm before her blade could reach him, and hauled her close, their faces nose to nose. "You'll never take the cross from me," he vowed as he towered over her, his grip strong. The point of a sword touched his back. Thomas tensed, and he swore beneath his breath, self-disgust heavy in his chest. The distraction of this one woman had sealed his fate. Bloody hell. Catherine's cheeks flamed. Struggling to catch her breath, she stood mere inches from Captain Thomas Glanville, his grasp on her firm. The air tasted of smoke and ash, and her sword-wielding arm ached to high heaven. This close, she could feel the heat from Glanville's body warm the chilly November air. Even with a sword to his back, his green eyes smouldered with defiance. Blast. He would have won if not for Barnett's sword poking into his spine. Yanking her arm from Glanville's hold, she stared him straight in the eye. "You're wrong. The Ruby Cross will be mine." She sheathed her dagger. "Sorry, dear brother." Emmett would be sorely disappointed after all the hours he'd spent teaching her how to wield her saber. Although in her defense, her brother's sparring hadn't adequately prepared her for Glanville, a man who fought with such ferocity. Obviously, he was a well-seasoned combatant, which might explain the slight crook to his nose. Two men grasped Glanville's arms and jerked him away from her, and Barnett, the Sea Sprite's quartermaster, lowered his sword. "Ah, Catherine, you should have listened and stayed aboard the Sea Sprite," Barnett scolded, the scar on his upper lip stretching with his frown. Glanville watched her with interest. "Be silent, Barnett," she hissed, surveying her crew for any sign of antipathy. "I'll not listen to your nonsense." Detecting no mockery or derision from the men, she cast her quartermaster a glare. "Damn Barnett, chastising me in front of the men. I am the captain here. Stay aboard the Sea Sprite indeed." She could hold her own with a sword. Or so she'd thought. Catherine directed her attention back to Glanville, the rest of the merchantman's crew subdued. She'd deal with Barnett later. "Where is the cross?" she demanded. Glanville's blonde head bowed, and he studied the deck for the briefest of moments before those green eyes came to rest on her again. "It's not on board." "You're lying." She had seen enough charlatans on the streets of St. Giles to know, and Glanville had all the markings.